Welcome to the world of Greek mythology, where gods walked among mortals and myths shaped reality. You're about to hear tales of love, power, and destiny. So sit back, get comfortable, and let the legends unfold. Greek mythology, a captivating tapestry of tales and legends, serves as a window into the beliefs, values, and imagination of ancient Greece. This rich narrative tradition is filled with gods, goddesses, heroes, and mythical creatures, each embodying various aspects of human experience and the natural world. From the mighty Zeus, ruler of Mount Olympus, to the cunning Athena, goddess of wisdom, these figures not only entertained, but also provided moral lessons and explanations for the mysteries of life. The enchanting stories of Greek mythology have transcended time, influencing literature, art, and culture throughout the centuries. They invite us to explore themes of love, power, fate, and the human condition, making them as relevant today as they were in antiquity. As we delve into this magical world, we will uncover the significance of these myths, their impact on modern storytelling, and the timeless lessons they impart. Join us on this journey through the enchanting realms of ancient Greece, where every tale is a doorway to understanding the complexities of life and the universe. Prepare to be engaged and informed as we unravel the threads of mythology that continue to inspire and captivate audiences around the globe. Nestled along the rugged coastline of Greece lies the secluded beach of Antheon, a hidden gem that captivates the imagination with its ethereal beauty and mysterious aura. This enchanting stretch of shoreline, often overlooked by tourists, is framed by towering cliffs and lush greenery, creating a serene escape from the bustling world. The crystal clear waters of the Aegean Sea lap gently against the shore, their vibrant hues shifting from deep azure to shimmering turquoise, inviting visitors to explore its depths. However, despite its breathtaking scenery, Antheon is shrouded in an air of mystery that has long deterred fishermen and locals alike from venturing too close to its shores. Legends abound regarding the strange occurrences that plague this enigmatic beach. Fishermen who have dared to cast their nets in the waters of Antheon often recount tales of inexplicable phenomena. Some speak of sudden, violent storms that arise without warning, churning the calm sea into a tempestuous fury. Others describe eerie sounds echoing through the air, resembling whispers or distant laughter, which send shivers down their spines. These unsettling experiences have led many to believe that the beach is haunted by spirits of the past, perhaps remnants of ancient mariners who met their fate in these waters. As a result, the once thriving fishing community has largely abandoned the area, leaving Antheon to bask in its solitude. Yet, it is precisely this sense of mystery that lends Antheon its enchanting atmosphere. The beach is often cloaked in a soft mist, particularly during the early morning hours when the sun begins to rise over the horizon. This magical light casts a golden glow upon the sand, illuminating the intricate patterns left by the tide. As the day progresses, the mist dissipates, revealing a landscape that feels almost otherworldly. The air is imbued with the scent of salt and wildflowers, while the gentle sound of waves creates a soothing symphony that resonates with the soul. Visitors to Antheon often find themselves entranced by the beauty surrounding them, as if time itself has paused to allow for reflection and wonder. The flora and fauna of Antheon further enhance its mystical charm. Unique plants, some found nowhere else in the region, cling to the cliffs, their vibrant colours contrasting beautifully with the deep blue of the sea. Birds, both familiar and exotic, flit through the air, their songs adding to the enchanting atmosphere. It is not uncommon for visitors to spot dolphins playfully leaping in the distance, their graceful movements a reminder of the magic that lies beneath the surface. The beach is a sanctuary for those seeking solace, inspiration, or simply a moment of peace away from the chaos of modern life. As dusk approaches, Antheon transforms into a realm of dreams. The setting sun paints the sky in hues of orange, pink and purple, casting a mesmerizing reflection of the water. The beach, now bathed in twilight, takes on an almost surreal quality as shadows dance along the shore. It is during these moments that the true essence of Antheon reveals itself, a place where the boundaries between reality and myth blur, inviting all who visit to embrace the magic that lingers in the air. In conclusion, the beach of Antheon stands as a testament to the allure of the unknown. Its secluded setting, coupled with the strange occurrences that deter fishermen, creates an atmosphere steeped in mystery and enchantment. Those who are fortunate enough to experience its beauty are often left with a sense of wonder, as if they have stumbled upon a hidden world where the past and present intertwine. Antheon is not just a beach, it is a sanctuary for the soul, a place where the magic of nature and the whispers of history converge, leaving an indelible mark on all who venture to its shores. Once upon a time, in a quaint coastal village in ancient Greece, there lived a cheerful fisherman named Glaucus. Known for his infectious laughter and kind heart, Glaucus spent his days casting his nets into the azure waters of the Aegean Sea, always hopeful for a bountiful catch. His life was simple yet fulfilling, as he found joy in the rhythm of the waves and the beauty of the sun setting over the horizon. However, one fateful day, while exploring a secluded beach that few dared to approach, Glaucus stumbled upon a hidden cove that would change his life forever. As he ventured onto the soft sands of this mysterious beach, Glaucus felt an inexplicable pull toward the shimmering waters. The beach was unlike any he had ever seen, with vibrant colors and an enchanting atmosphere that seemed to hum with magic. Intrigued, he decided to cast his net into the sea, hoping to uncover the secrets that lay beneath the surface. To his astonishment, he soon found himself reeling in an extraordinary catch. Fish of every shape and size, their scales glistening like jewels in the sunlight. But as he pulled them from the water, something miraculous happened. The fish began to wriggle and thrash, their gills opening and closing as if they were alive once more. Glaucus stood in awe, his heart racing with excitement and disbelief. He had never seen anything like this before. The fish, which he had thought were destined for his dinner table, were now flopping back into the water, splashing him with droplets of salt water as they swam away with new-found vigor. It was as if the very essence of life had been restored to them. Overwhelmed by the wonder of the moment, Glaucus couldn't help but laugh, his joy echoing across the cove. Little did he know that this magical encounter was only the beginning of a remarkable transformation. As he continued to explore the beach, Glaucus noticed a peculiar tree growing nearby, its branches heavy with vibrant, luminescent fruits. Drawn to their beauty, he approached the tree and marveled at the sight. The fruits glowed with an otherworldly light, casting a warm radiance that illuminated the surrounding area. Unable to resist the allure, Glaucus plucked one of the fruits and took a bite. The moment the sweet, succulent juice touched his lips, a surge of energy coursed through his body, igniting every fiber of his being. It was as if the very essence of the sea had entered him, filling him with a sense of power and vitality he had never known. But with this newfound energy came an unexpected change. Glaucus felt his legs begin to tingle and shift, as if they were being reshaped by an unseen force. In a matter of moments, he watched in astonishment as his legs fused together, transforming into a magnificent tail covered in shimmering scales that reflected the colors of the ocean. Glaucus had become a merman, a creature of the sea, destined to explore the depths of the waters he had once fished. At first, Glaucus was overwhelmed by the transformation, a mix of fear and exhilaration coursing through him. He gazed at his reflection in the water, marveling at the beauty of his new form. His once human features were now complemented by the graceful lines of his tail, and his hair flowed like seaweed, dancing with the currents. As he adjusted to his new reality, a sense of freedom washed over him. He could swim with the speed of a dolphin, dive to depths he had only dreamed of, and communicate with the creatures of the sea in ways he had never imagined. With each stroke of his powerful tail, Glaucus explored the underwater world, discovering vibrant coral reefs, schools of colorful fish, and hidden caves filled with treasures from shipwrecks long forgotten. He felt a deep connection to the ocean as if it were a part of him, and he reveled in the beauty of his surroundings. The once simple fisherman had become a guardian of the sea, embracing his new identity with open arms. As Glaucus navigated his new life beneath the waves, he encountered other sea creatures who welcomed him into their realm. He forged friendships with dolphins, sea turtles, and even the wise old octopus who shared stories of the ocean's mysteries. Together, they explored the depths, uncovering secrets that had been hidden for centuries. Glaucus found joy in this new existence, but he also felt a longing for the world he had left behind. The village, the sunsets, and the laughter of his fellow fishermen. One day, while swimming near the surface, Glaucus spotted a familiar figure on the beach, the silhouette of a woman who seemed to be searching for something. Intrigued, he swam closer, his heart racing as he recognized her as a childhood friend, a beautiful maiden named Leandra. She had always been kind to him, and he felt a deep connection to her that transcended the boundaries of land and sea. As he watched her from the water, he felt a pang of longing, realizing that his transformation had come at a cost. He could no longer walk on land, and the love he once knew seemed just out of reach. Determined to bridge the gap between their worlds, Glaucus devised a plan. He began to leave gifts for Leandra on the beach, shells, pearls, and other treasures from the ocean, hoping to catch her attention. Each time she discovered a new offering, her eyes would light up with wonder, and Glaucus felt a flicker of hope. He longed to reveal himself to her, to share the magic of his transformation and the beauty of the underwater world. One fateful evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow across the water, Glaucus summoned the courage to approach the shore. He emerged from the waves, his shimmering tail glistening in the fading light. Leandra gasped in astonishment as she beheld the merman before her, her heart racing with disbelief and wonder. Glaucus spoke to her, his voice a melodic blend of the sea's whispers, sharing the story of his transformation and the magic of the beach that had changed his life forever. As they spoke, a bond formed between them, transcending the boundaries of their worlds. Leandra was captivated by Glaucus's tales of the ocean, and he was enchanted by her beauty and kindness. They spent hours together, sharing laughter and dreams, their connection deepening with each passing moment. Glaucus realized that love could flourish even in the most unexpected circumstances, and he felt a sense of hope that perhaps their worlds could intertwine. However, the reality of their situation loomed over them like a shadow. Glaucus was bound to the sea, while Leandra belonged to the land. They faced a choice: to accept the limitations of their worlds or to seek a way to be together. With determination in their hearts, they began to explore the possibilities, seeking the wisdom of the ocean's creatures and the guidance of ancient spirits. In their quest for a solution, Glaucus and Leandra discovered that true love could conquer even the greatest of obstacles. They learned of a powerful enchantment that could grant Glaucus the ability to walk on land for a limited time, allowing them to share their lives together. With the help of their newfound friends, they embarked on a journey to gather the ingredients needed for the spell, facing challenges and trials that tested their resolve. As they worked together, their love blossomed, and Glaucus realized that his transformation had not only given him a new identity, but had also led him to the love of his life. The beach of Antheon, once a place of mystery and solitude, had become a symbol of hope and possibility. With each passing day, they grew closer, their hearts intertwined like the currents of the sea. Finally, the day arrived when they completed the spell, and Glaucus felt a surge of energy as the magic enveloped him. He emerged from the water, his tail transforming back into legs, and he stood before Leandra, a radiant smile on his face. They embraced, their hearts filled with joy and gratitude for the journey that had brought them together. In the end, Glaucus learned that transformation is not just about physical change. It is about the connections we forge and the love we share. The beach of Antheon, with its enchanting aura and magical sap, had forever altered the course of his life, leading him to a love that transcended the boundaries of land and sea. Together, Glaucus and Leandra embraced their new reality, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, united by the magic of their love and the mysteries of the ocean. In the depths of the Aegean Sea, where the sunlight danced upon the waves and the coral reefs flourished with life, there lived a stunning sea nymph named Scylla, with flowing hair that shimmered like strands of seaweed and eyes as deep and blue as the ocean itself. Scylla was the embodiment of beauty and grace. She roamed the underwater realms, enchanting all who crossed her path with her ethereal presence and melodic laughter. Among those captivated by her allure was Glaucus, the merman who had once been a humble fisherman. Since his transformation, he had discovered a world of wonders beneath the waves, but none compared to the magic he felt when he laid eyes on Scylla. From the moment Glaucus first saw Scylla gliding through the water, he was entranced. Her movements were fluid and effortless, as if she were a part of the sea itself. He watched her from a distance, mesmerized by the way she played with the fish and danced among the coral. Glaucus felt an overwhelming urge to approach her, to speak to her, but he was acutely aware of his own awkwardness. Despite his newfound confidence as a merman, the thought of winning the heart of such a magnificent creature filled him with trepidation. Determined to capture Scylla's attention, Glaucus devised a series of clumsy attempts to impress her. He began by gathering the most exquisite treasures from the ocean floor: glimmering pearls, vibrant shells, and delicate pieces of coral. With each offering, he hoped to convey his admiration and affection. However, his efforts often resulted in humorous mishaps. On one occasion, he presented Scylla with a particularly large and beautiful shell, only to have it slip from his grasp and tumble to the ocean floor, creating a cloud of sand that obscured their view. Scylla laughed, her melodic voice ringing like a sweet chime, and while Glaucus felt embarrassed, he couldn't help but smile at her joy. Another time, Glaucus attempted to impress Scylla with his swimming skills. He practiced tirelessly, trying to execute graceful flips and spins, but his enthusiasm often led to clumsy splashes and awkward landings. When he finally mustered the courage to perform in front of her, he miscalculated a turn and ended up colliding with a rock, sending a flurry of bubbles into the water. Scylla's laughter echoed through the depths, and while Glaucus felt a mix of humiliation and admiration, he couldn't help but be enchanted by her carefree spirit. Despite his awkwardness, Glaucus remained undeterred. He believed that if he could just find the right way to express his feelings, Scylla would see the depth of his love for her. He spent countless hours contemplating grand gestures, envisioning elaborate displays of affection that would sweep her off her feet. However, each time he approached her, he found himself tongue-tied, his heart racing as he struggled to find the right words. The more he tried to impress her, the more he felt like a fish out of water, floundering in his attempts to connect. As days turned into weeks, Glaucus's infatuation with Scylla deepened, but so did his frustration. He began to notice that Scylla had a certain standard for love, one that he felt he could never quite meet. She was not only beautiful, but also wise and discerning, possessing a depth of character that drew others to her. Glaucus observed how she interacted with the other sea creatures, treating them with kindness and respect, and he realized that her heart was not easily won. Scylla sought a love that was genuine and profound, one that transcended mere admiration. One fateful day, Glaucus gathered his courage and decided to confront Scylla directly. He approached her as she rested on a sunlit rock, her hair cascading around her like a waterfall of gold. The sunlight danced upon her skin, illuminating her beauty in a way that took his breath away. With a pounding heart, he spoke, his voice trembling slightly. "Scylla, I have admired you from afar for so long. Your beauty and spirit captivate me, and I wish to express my love for you." Scylla turned to him, her expression softening, but there was a hint of sadness in her eyes. Glaucus. You are kind and brave, and I appreciate your feelings. But love is not merely about admiration or gifts. It is about understanding, trust, and a deep connection that goes beyond the surface. Glaucus felt a pang of disappointment at her words, but he pressed on, determined to prove himself. I can learn, Scylla. I can be the merman you desire. Just give me a chance to show you my heart. Scylla shook her head gently, her voice filled with compassion. It is not about changing who you are, Glaucus. I seek a love that is rooted in authenticity, one that is built on shared experiences and mutual understanding. I cannot simply fall for you because of your attempts to impress me. Her rejection stung, and Glaucus felt a wave of despair wash over him. He had poured his heart into his efforts, believing that love could be won through grand gestures and gifts. But Scylla's words resonated deeply within him, forcing him to confront the reality of his feelings. He realized that he had been so focused on winning her affection that he had overlooked the importance of truly connecting with her. In the days that followed, Glaucus took a step back, reflecting on Scylla's words. He began to understand that love was not a competition or a series of performances. It was a journey of discovery and vulnerability. He observed Scylla from a distance, watching her interact with the world around her. He saw how she cared for the creatures of the sea, how she listened to their stories, and how she found joy in the simple moments of life. It was in these moments that he began to appreciate the depth of her character and the qualities that made her truly special. With newfound clarity, Glaucus decided to approach Scylla once more, but this time with a different mindset. He sought to connect with her on a deeper level, to share experiences rather than simply impress her. He invited her to explore the hidden wonders of the ocean together, suggesting they swim through vibrant coral gardens and discover the secrets of underwater caves. He wanted to show her the beauty of the world he had come to love, hoping that through shared adventures they could forge a genuine bond. To his delight, Scylla accepted his invitation, and together they embarked on a journey through the enchanting depths of the sea. As they swam side by side, Glaucus felt a sense of ease wash over him. He no longer felt the pressure to perform. Instead, he focused on enjoying the moment and getting to know Scylla for who she truly was. They laughed and played, exploring the wonders of the ocean, and with each passing day, their connection deepened. As they shared stories and dreams, Glaucus discovered the layers of Scylla's personality, the hopes she held, the fears she faced, and the passions that ignited her spirit. He learned about her love for the ocean, her desire to protect its beauty, and her dreams of exploring the world beyond the waves. In turn, he opened up about his own journey, sharing the struggles he faced as a fisherman and the joy he found in his transformation. Through these shared experiences, Glaucus began to see Scylla in a new light. She was not just a beautiful sea nymph. She was a complex individual with her own desires and aspirations. He admired her strength and independence, and he realized that true love was not about possession or conquest, but about mutual respect and understanding. As their bond grew stronger, Glaucus felt a sense of hope blossoming within him. He no longer sought to win Scylla's affection through grand gestures. Instead, he focused on being present and authentic. he learned to appreciate the beauty of their connection, allowing it to unfold naturally without the pressure of expectations. In time, Scylla began to see Glaucus in a different light as well. She recognized the sincerity of his heart and the depth of his character. His willingness to embrace vulnerability and his genuine desire to connect with her resonated deeply within her. Slowly, the walls she had built around her heart began to crumble, and she found herself drawn to Glaucus in a way she had not anticipated. One evening, as they floated together beneath a canopy of stars, Scylla turned to Glaucus, her eyes sparkling with emotion. "You have shown me a different side of love, Glaucus. You have taught me that true connection is built on understanding and shared experiences. I see the beauty in your heart, and I am grateful for the journey we have taken together." Glaucus felt a rush of joy at her words, his heart swelling with hope. "Scylla, I have come to love you not just for your beauty, but for the incredible person you are. I cherish every moment we spend together, and I am grateful for the chance to know you." In that moment, beneath the shimmering stars and the gentle waves, Glaucus and Scylla found themselves on the brink of a new chapter in their relationship. They had navigated the complexities of love, overcoming misunderstandings and embracing the beauty of connection. As they swam side by side, they knew that their journey was far from over, but they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, united by the magic of their love and the depths of the ocean that had brought them together. In the heart of the Aegean Sea, where the waves whispered secrets and the currents carried tales of old, there lived a powerful sorceress named Circe. Renowned for her mastery of magic and her deep connection to the mystical forces of nature, Circe was both revered and feared by those who knew of her abilities. Her home was a secluded island shrouded in mist and surrounded by treacherous waters, making it a place few dared to approach. Legends spoke of her enchanting beauty, her long flowing hair that sparkled like the night sky, and her piercing green eyes that seemed to hold the wisdom of the ages. Many sought her counsel, but few returned unchanged, for Circe's magic came with a price. Glaucus, the merman who had once been a humble fisherman, found himself standing at the edge of the rocky shore, gazing out at the turbulent sea that separated him from Circe's island. His heart raced with a mix of hope and trepidation as he contemplated the journey ahead. He had come to realize that his love for Scylla, the beautiful sea nymph, was deeper than mere infatuation. It was a longing that consumed him. Despite the bond they had begun to forge, he felt an insatiable desire to win her heart completely, to prove that he was worthy of her love. And so he had made the decision to seek out Circe, believing that her magic could provide him with the means to do so. As Glaucus swam through the churning waters, he recalled the tales he had heard about Circe's potions, elixirs that could alter fate, enhance beauty, and even bind hearts together. He envisioned a potion that would make Scylla see him not just as a friend, but as a true partner, someone deserving of her affection. The thought of holding such power in his hands filled him with both excitement and dread. He knew that magic could be unpredictable, and the consequences of tampering with love were often fraught with peril. Yet the yearning in his heart pushed him forward, compelling him to take the risk. After what felt like an eternity of swimming, Glaucus finally reached the shores of Circe's island. The air was thick with the scent of salt and wildflowers, and the sound of waves crashing against the rocks echoed in his ears. He approached the entrance to her lair, a cave adorned with shimmering crystals and illuminated by an otherworldly glow. Taking a deep breath, he steeled himself and stepped inside, the cool air wrapping around him like a cloak. Circe sat at a grand table, surrounded by an array of potions and mystical artifacts. Her presence was commanding, and as she looked up from her work, her emerald eyes locked onto Glaucus with an intensity that made him feel both vulnerable and empowered. "What brings you to my domain, young merman?" she asked, her voice smooth and melodic, yet laced with an underlying power. Glaucus swallowed hard, his heart pounding in his chest. "Great, Circe, I seek your help. I am in love with Scylla, the sea nymph, but I fear that my efforts to win her heart have been in vain. I wish to obtain a potion that will make her see me as more than just a friend. I want her to love me as I love her." Circe regarded him thoughtfully, her expression inscrutable. Love is a complex tapestry, woven with threads of desire, trust, and understanding. To alter the course of someone's heart is no simple task, Glaucus. Magic can enhance feelings, but it cannot create them where they do not exist. Are you prepared for the consequences of such a potion? Glaucus felt a wave of uncertainty wash over him. He had not considered the implications of using magic to manipulate love. "I understand that love cannot be forced, but I believe that Scylla has the potential to love me if only she could see me in a different light. I am willing to take the risk." Circe's gaze softened slightly, and she leaned forward, her fingers tracing the rim of a delicate vial filled with a shimmering liquid. "Very well, Glaucus. I will grant you a potion, but you must understand that it will not guarantee Scylla's love. It will enhance your charm and allure, making you more irresistible in her eyes. However, true love cannot be manufactured. It must be nurtured and grown. If you choose to proceed, you must be prepared for the possibility that the potion may not yield the results you desire." Glaucus nodded, his determination unwavering. "I accept the risks, Circe. I only wish to have a chance to show her my heart." With a wave of her hand, Circe summoned the potion to her, the liquid swirling with colors that seemed to shift and dance in the light. "This potion is infused with the essence of the sea and the magic of the stars. It will enhance your natural charm, making you more appealing to Scylla. But remember, Glaucus, the heart is a fragile thing. If you force love, it may shatter rather than bloom." As she handed him the vial, Glaucus felt a surge of hope mixed with apprehension. He understood the weight of her words, but the desire to win Scylla's heart overshadowed his doubts. "Thank you, Circe. I will use this wisely." Circe studied him for a moment, her expression shifting to one of concern. "Be cautious, Glaucus. Love is a powerful force, and tampering with it can lead to unforeseen consequences. If Scylla does not reciprocate your feelings, the potion may only serve to complicate matters further. True love is built on honesty and trust, not manipulation." With those words echoing in his mind, Glaucus took the potion and made his way back to the water, the weight of his decision heavy on his shoulders. As he swam back toward the depths of the sea, he contemplated the path he had chosen. He longed for Sila's love, but he also understood that the magic he now possessed could alter the course of their relationship in ways he could not predict. Upon returning to the vibrant underwater world, Glaucus found himself torn between excitement and trepidation. He had the means to enhance his charm, to make Sila see him in a new light. But at what cost? Would she truly love him for who he was? Or would the potion create a facade that would ultimately lead to heartbreak? Days passed as Glaucus wrestled with his thoughts, and he observed Sila from a distance, watching her interact with the other sea creatures and revel in the beauty of the ocean. He admired her laughter, her kindness, and the way she embraced life with open arms. The more he watched her, the more he realized that his feelings for her were rooted in admiration for her spirit, not just her beauty. He wanted to share his life with her, to explore the depths of their connection, but he feared that the potion might overshadow the authenticity of their bond. Finally, the moment came when Glaucus could no longer delay his decision. He found Sila resting on a coral reef, her laughter ringing like music through the water. Taking a deep breath, he approached her, the vial of potion clutched tightly in his hand. As he drew closer, he felt the weight of Circe's warning pressing on his heart. Would he truly be able to win Sila's love? Or would he risk losing her forever by relying on magic? "Glaucus!" Sila exclaimed, her eyes lighting up as she spotted him. "It's good to see you. Come join me." With a mixture of excitement and anxiety, Glaucus swam to her side, his heart racing. "Sila, I've been thinking about us, about our connection." She smiled, her gaze warm and inviting. "I've enjoyed our time together, Glaucus. You have a kind heart." As he looked into her eyes, he felt the pull of the potion, urging him to use it, to enhance his charm and win her affection. But in that moment, he realized that he wanted Sila to love him for who he truly was, not for a facade created by magic. He hesitated, the vial still clutched in his hand, as he weighed the consequences of his choice. "Sila," he began, his voice steady but filled with vulnerability. "I want to be honest with you. I sought out Circe and obtained a potion to enhance my charm, hoping it would help you see me differently. But now, I'm not sure if that's the right path." Sila's expression shifted, surprise flickering in her eyes. "You sought magic to win my heart?" Glaucus nodded, his heart pounding. "I thought it would help, but I realize now that true love cannot be forced. I want you to see me for who I am, not for what a potion can make me." Sila regarded him thoughtfully, her gaze piercing through the depths of his soul. "Glaucus, I appreciate your honesty. Love is not something that can be manufactured. It must be genuine. I want to know you, the real you." In that moment, Glaucus felt a weight lift from his shoulders. He had chosen authenticity over manipulation, and he could see the warmth in Sila's eyes as she regarded him with newfound understanding. The potion remained in his hand, a symbol of the temptation he had faced, but he knew that that he had made the right choice. As they swam together, Glaucus felt a sense of peace wash over him. He had taken a risk by being vulnerable, but in doing so, he had opened the door to a deeper connection with Scylla. The journey to seek Circe's help had led him to a profound realization. Love was not about winning someone's heart through magic. It was about nurturing a bond built on trust, honesty, and shared experiences. With each passing moment, Glaucus and Scylla explored the depths of their connection, free from the constraints of enchantment. They laughed, shared stories, and discovered the beauty of their underwater world together. And as they swam side by side, Glaucus knew that he had chosen the path of true love, one that would lead them both to a future filled with endless possibilities. In the depths of the Aegean Sea, where the vibrant colours of coral reefs once flourished, a dark shadow began to creep into the waters. Pollution from distant lands had seeped into the ocean, tainting the once pristine environment that Scylla and her fellow sea creatures called home. The vibrant hues of the underwater world dulled, and the once clear waters became murky and filled with debris. Despite the changes, Scylla continued to swim gracefully through the waters, her spirit undeterred by the encroaching darkness. She was a beacon of light in a world that was slowly losing its beauty, and she remained hopeful that the ocean would heal. One fateful day, as Scylla glided through the polluted waters, she felt an unusual heaviness in the currents. The water felt thick and suffocating, and she noticed that the fish she often played with were nowhere to be found. Concerned, she swam deeper into the heart of the pool, where the pollution seemed to be at its worst. The once vibrant sea life had vanished, replaced by a haunting silence that sent shivers down her spine. As she navigated through the murky depths, Scylla felt a strange sensation wash over her, as if the very essence of the water was changing her. Suddenly, a sharp pain coursed through her body, and she gasped, struggling to comprehend what was happening. The water around her began to swirl violently, and she felt her form shifting in ways she could not control. Panic surged within her as she realized that something was terribly wrong. The magic of the potion that Glaucus had sought from Circe had intertwined with the polluted waters, creating a catastrophic reaction that was beyond her understanding. As the transformation took hold, Scylla's body contorted and twisted, her once graceful form morphing into something grotesque. She felt her limbs elongate and reshape, and her heart raced with fear as she caught a glimpse of her reflection in the murky water. What she saw was horrifying. A creature with multiple heads resembling those of dogs, each one snarling and barking in confusion. The once beautiful sea nymph was now a nightmarish figure, a tragic fusion of magic and pollution that left her feeling utterly lost. Scylla thrashed in the water, her new form struggling against the currents that had once cradled her. The heads barked and howled, each one vying for control, and she felt a deep sense of despair wash over her. The beauty she had once embodied was gone, replaced by a monstrous visage that reflected the devastation of her surroundings. The pollution that had seeped into the ocean had not only tainted the waters, but had also corrupted her very essence, twisting her into a creature of horror. As she swam through the polluted pool, Scylla felt the weight of her transformation pressing down on her. The other sea creatures, once her friends, now fled in terror at the sight of her. She could hear their frightened cries echoing through the water, and her heart ached with sorrow. The vibrant world she had known was now a distant memory, replaced by a reality that felt like a waking nightmare. She longed to return to her former self, to feel the joy of swimming freely among the coral reefs. But the magic that had transformed her was now a prison, binding her to this horrifying existence. Meanwhile, Glaucus remained unaware of the tragic consequences of his misguided love. He had believed that the potion would enhance his charm and help him win Scylla's heart, but he had not anticipated the catastrophic effects it would have on her. As he waited for her to arrive, he felt a sense of excitement and hope, convinced that the potion would bring them closer together. He envisioned a future filled with love and happiness, unaware that his actions had set in motion a chain of events that would lead to unimaginable sorrow. When Scylla finally emerged from the depths, Glaucus was taken aback by the sight before him. The creature that swam toward him was unrecognizable, a grotesque amalgamation of dog heads and twisted limbs. His heart sank as he realized that the potion had not only failed to enhance his charm, but had instead unleashed a nightmare upon the one he loved. "Scylla!" he cried, his voice filled with horror and disbelief. "What has happened to you?" Scylla's multiple heads turned toward him, each one filled with confusion and anguish. She struggled to communicate, her voice a cacophony of barks and howls that echoed through the water. Glaucus felt a wave of guilt wash over him as he understood the gravity of his mistake. The potion he had sought in desperation had not only altered his fate, but had irrevocably changed Scylla's life as well. "Please, Scylla, I didn't mean for this to happen," he pleaded, his heart breaking at the sight of her suffering. "I thought the potion would help us, that it would bring us closer together." But Scylla could not respond in words. Her new form was a prison that prevented her from expressing the depth of her pain. The magic that had once been a source of hope had now become a curse, and she felt trapped in a body that no longer felt like her own. The weight of her transformation pressed down on her, and she could sense the despair that filled Glaucus's heart. As the reality of their situation sank in, Glaucus realized that he had been blinded by his desire for love. In his quest to win Scylla's affection, he had overlooked the importance of authenticity and the consequences of tampering with magic. The potion had not only altered Scylla's appearance, but had also severed the bond they had begun to forge. The love he had sought to cultivate had been replaced by a tragic outcome that left them both shattered. In the days that followed, Glaucus and Scylla drifted through the polluted waters, their connection strained by the weight of their circumstances. Glaucus sought to find a way to reverse the effects of the potion, desperate to restore Scylla to her former self. He returned to Circe's island, hoping that the sorceress could provide a solution to the nightmare he had unwittingly unleashed. But as he swam through the treacherous waters, he felt the burden of his actions weighing heavily on his heart. When he finally reached Circe, he recounted the tragic tale of Scylla's transformation, his voice filled with desperation. "Please, Circe, I need your help. The potion I sought has destroyed the one I love. Is there any way to reverse the effects?" Circe listened intently, her expression a mixture of concern and understanding. Glaucus. The magic you sought was never meant to be wielded lightly. The consequences of your actions have intertwined with the very fabric of the ocean. To reverse the transformation will require a powerful spell, one that may come at a great cost. Glaucus felt a surge of hope mixed with fear. I will do anything to save her. Please, tell me what I must do. Circe's gaze turned serious as she explained the arduous journey that lay ahead. You must gather the rarest ingredients from the depths of the ocean, each one representing a piece of Scylla's essence. Only then can the spell be cast to restore her to her true form. But be warned, the journey will be fraught with danger, and the cost may be more than you are willing to pay. With determination in his heart, Glaucus set out on the perilous quest to gather the ingredients needed to save Scylla. He faced treacherous currents, battled fierce sea creatures, and navigated through the polluted waters that had once been his home. Each challenge he encountered served as a reminder of the consequences of his misguided love, and he vowed to do whatever it took to restore Scylla to her former self. As he collected the final ingredient, Glaucus felt a sense of urgency driving him forward. He returned to Circe, his heart racing with anticipation. I have gathered everything you asked for. Please, help me save her. Circe took the ingredients and began to weave her magic, her voice resonating with power as she chanted the incantation. The waters around them shimmered with energy, and Glaucus felt a surge of hope as he envisioned Scylla returning to her true form. But as the spell reached its climax, a sudden darkness enveloped them, and Glaucus realized that the cost of reversing the potion was greater than he had anticipated. In that moment, he understood that love was not just about possession or desire. It was about sacrifice and understanding. The journey he had embarked upon had taught him the true meaning of love, and he was willing to pay the price to save Scylla, even if it meant losing a part of himself in the process. As the spell reached its conclusion, a blinding light enveloped the waters, and Glaucus felt a surge of energy coursing through him. When the light faded, he found himself standing alone in the depths of the ocean, the echoes of Scylla's presence lingering in the water. The transformation had been reversed, but the cost had been steep. Glaucus had sacrificed a part of himself to restore Scylla, and he felt a profound emptiness in his heart. Though Scylla was free from her monstrous form, the bond they had shared had been irrevocably altered. Glaucus understood that love could not be forced or manipulated. It was a delicate dance of trust and understanding. As he swam through the waters, he carried the weight of his actions with him, a reminder of the tragic outcome of his misguided love. In the end, Glaucus learned that true love is not about winning someone's heart through magic or manipulation. It is about embracing the beauty of authenticity and the strength of vulnerability. The journey he had undertaken had changed him forever, and as he gazed out at the vast expanse of the ocean, he knew that he would carry the lessons of love with him for all eternity. In the grand tapestry of Greek mythology, the conflicts among the gods often spilled over into the lives of mortals, creating a complex web of divine intrigue and human suffering. At the center of many of these conflicts was Zeus, the king of the gods, and his wife Hera, the queen of Olympus. Their tumultuous relationship was marked by jealousy, betrayal, and fierce arguments, particularly concerning the affairs of mortals. Zeus, known for his numerous romantic escapades, often found himself at odds with Hera, who could not tolerate his infidelities and the chaos they wrought upon the mortal realm. One fateful day, as thunder rumbled ominously in the distance, Zeus and Hera engaged in yet another heated argument. The air crackled with tension as they stood atop Mount Olympus, the majestic home of the gods. "You cannot continue to meddle in the lives of mortals as you do, Zeus," Hera exclaimed, her voice laced with frustration. "Your whims and desires lead to nothing but suffering for them. Look at what you've done to Io." Io, a beautiful mortal priestess of Hera, had caught Zeus's eye, and in a moment of passion he had transformed her into a heifer to hide her from his jealous wife. Hera, upon discovering the truth, was furious and demanded that Zeus return Io to her human form. Instead, Zeus, unwilling to relinquish his hold on Io, allowed her to remain in her bovine state, subjecting her to a life of wandering and despair. The conflict between Zeus and Hera had dire consequences for Io, who became a victim of divine jealousy and the gods' petty squabbles. As Io roamed the earth, her heart heavy with sorrow, she encountered countless challenges. The once vibrant life she had known was replaced by a constant struggle for survival. She was pursued by the relentless gadfly sent by Hera, which stung her mercilessly, driving her to madness. The mortal world, once filled with beauty and promise, had become a prison of torment, all because of the gods' conflicts. Io's plight was a stark reminder of how the whims of the divine could wreak havoc on the lives of mortals, leaving them to suffer the consequences of the gods' jealousy and anger. In the midst of this turmoil, Hermes, the messenger of the gods, played a crucial role in navigating the treacherous waters of divine conflict. Known for his cunning and resourcefulness, Hermes often found himself acting as a mediator between the gods and mortals. He understood the fragility of mortal lives and the impact that divine disputes could have on them. With his quick wit and charm, Hermes sought to alleviate the suffering caused by the gods' quarrels, often stepping in to rescue mortals from the wrath of the divine. When Hermes learned of Io's plight, he felt a deep sense of compassion for the tormented priestess. He recognized that her suffering was a direct result of the ongoing conflict between Zeus and Hera, and he resolved to help her. With his swift wings and clever mind, Hermes devised a plan to confront the gods and seek a resolution for Io's suffering. He approached Zeus, who was lounging on his throne, and spoke with a mix of respect and urgency. "Great Zeus," Hermes began, his voice smooth and persuasive. "I come to you not only as your messenger, but as a friend to mortals. Io suffers greatly because of your actions, and it is time to show her mercy. She deserves to be restored to her human form and freed from the torment that has befallen her." Zeus, initially taken aback by Hermes' boldness, considered the words of the clever messenger. He understood that his actions had consequences, not only for Io, but for the balance of the mortal realm. The gods' conflicts often led to chaos, and he realized that it was time to take responsibility for the suffering he had caused. "You speak wisely, Hermes," he replied, his tone softening. "Perhaps it is time to grant Io the freedom she deserves." With Zeus's agreement, Hermes set out to find Io. determined to deliver the news of her impending transformation back to her human form. He found her wandering in a desolate field, her eyes filled with sorrow and longing. As he approached, she looked up, her gaze filled with a mixture of hope and despair. "Who are you?" she asked, her voice trembling. "I am Hermes, messenger of the gods," he replied, his voice gentle. "I have come to bring you good news, dear Io. Zeus has heard your cries and has decided to restore you to your true form. You will no longer suffer as a heifer, but as the beautiful priestess you once were." Io's heart soared at the prospect of regaining her humanity. "Is it true?" she asked, her voice filled with disbelief. "Will I truly be free from this torment?" "Yes," Hermes assured her, a smile spreading across his face. "You will be restored, and your suffering will come to an end. But remember, the gods' conflicts can be unpredictable. You must remain strong and resilient, for the world of mortals is often shaped by their whims." With that, Hermes led Io back to the sacred grove where Zeus awaited. As they approached, the air shimmered with divine energy, and Io felt a surge of hope coursing through her veins. Zeus raised his hand, and with a flick of his wrist, he summoned the magic that would transform Io back into her human form. In an instant, the heifer was enveloped in a radiant light, and when it faded, Io stood before them, restored to her former beauty. Tears of joy streamed down her face as she embraced her newfound freedom. "Thank you, Hermes. Thank you, great Zeus," she exclaimed, her heart filled with gratitude. "I thought I would never escape the torment of my transformation." Zeus nodded, a hint of remorse in his eyes. "You have suffered greatly, Io, and for that I am truly sorry. Let this be a lesson to all of us. Our conflicts can have dire consequences for those who are innocent. I will strive to be more mindful of the impact my actions have on mortals." As Io basked in her freedom, she felt a renewed sense of purpose. She vowed to honor the gods and live a life filled with gratitude, understanding that the divine and mortal realms were intricately intertwined. The experience had changed her, and she emerged from her trials with a deeper appreciation for the fragility of life and the complexities of love. Meanwhile, Hermes watched the reunion with a sense of satisfaction. He had played a pivotal role in rescuing Io from the clutches of divine conflict, and he understood that his role as a messenger was not just about delivering news, but also about bridging the gap between gods and mortals. He knew that the gods would continue to quarrel, but he remained committed to helping those caught in the crossfire. As the sun set over the horizon, casting a warm glow across the sea, Io turned to Hermes, her heart filled with gratitude. "You have been my savior, Hermes. I will forever be thankful for your kindness and bravery." Hermes smiled, his eyes twinkling with mischief. "It is my duty to protect mortals from the whims of the gods. Remember, Io, the world is full of challenges, but with resilience and courage, you can overcome anything." With that, Io set forth on a new journey, determined to embrace her life with renewed vigor. She understood that the conflicts among the gods would continue to shape the mortal realm, but she also knew that she had allies like Hermes who would stand by her side. The divine and mortal worlds were forever intertwined, and as she swam through the waters of the Aegean, she felt a sense of hope for the future. In the grand narrative of Greek mythology, the conflicts among the gods served as a reminder of the complexities of love, jealousy, and the consequences of divine actions. Mortals like Io were often caught in the crossfire, suffering the repercussions of the gods' quarrels. Yet, through the intervention of figures like Hermes, there was a glimmer of hope, a reminder that even in the face of divine wrath, compassion and understanding could prevail. The story of Io and Hermes became a testament to the resilience of mortals and the enduring power of love, even amidst the chaos of the gods. In the rich tapestry of Greek mythology, few stories resonate as deeply as that of Demeter and her daughter Persephone. Demeter, the revered goddess of agriculture, fertility, and the harvest, was known for her nurturing spirit and profound connection to the earth. She was the embodiment of the bountiful harvests that sustained humanity, and her love for her daughter Persephone was unparalleled. The bond between mother and daughter was a reflection of the cycles of nature, a relationship that would ultimately shape the very seasons of the earth. Persephone, often described as a beautiful maiden with a gentle spirit, was the apple of Demeter's eye. The goddess cherished her daughter, teaching her the secrets of the earth and the importance of nurturing life. Together, they roamed the fields, planting seeds and tending to the crops, their laughter echoing through the meadows. Demeter's love for Persephone was not just maternal, it was a profound connection that represented the cycle of life itself. The two were inseparable, and their relationship symbolized the harmony between nature and humanity. However, this idyllic existence was shattered one fateful day when Hades, the god of the underworld, set his sights on Persephone. Enamored by her beauty and innocence, he devised a plan to abduct her and take her to his dark realm. As Persephone wandered through a field of blooming flowers, she was drawn to a particularly stunning blossom, a radiant narcissus that seemed to beckon her closer. Unbeknownst to her, this flower had been planted by Hades as part of his scheme. The moment she reached for it, the ground beneath her opened up, and Hades emerged from the depths, seizing her and whisking her away to the underworld. The abduction was swift and brutal, leaving no time for Persephone to cry out for help. As the earth closed above her, Demeter felt an unsettling shift in the world around her. The vibrant colors of the fields dulled, and the crops began to wither. It was as if the very essence of life had been drained from the land. When Demeter discovered that her beloved daughter had been taken, her heart shattered into a million pieces. The grief that enveloped her was profound, and she searched tirelessly for Persephone, calling out her name in desperation. Days turned into weeks, and Demeter's sorrow deepened. She roamed the earth, neglecting her duties as the goddess of agriculture. The once fertile fields became barren, and famine spread across the land. The people, suffering from the lack of harvest, prayed to Demeter for relief, but she remained inconsolable. Her grief had transformed her into a shadow of her former self, and the earth reflected her pain. The seasons shifted, and winter descended upon the world, a stark reminder of the goddess's anguish. In her search for Persephone, Demeter encountered Hecate, the goddess of magic and witchcraft, who offered her guidance. Hecate, aware of the abduction, revealed that Hades had taken Persephone to the underworld. With this knowledge, Demeter's resolve strengthened. She would not rest until she had reunited with her daughter. She sought the counsel of Zeus, the king of the gods, imploring him to intervene and bring Persephone back to her. Zeus, recognizing the dire consequences of Demeter's grief on the mortal realm, agreed to help. He sent Hermes, the messenger god, to the underworld to negotiate Persephone's return. Hades, however, was not willing to part with her so easily. He had grown fond of Persephone and offered her pomegranate seeds, knowing that consuming food from the underworld would bind her to him. Persephone, unaware of the implications, ate 6 seeds, sealing her fate. When Hermes returned with Persephone, Demeter's heart soared with joy. However, the joy was short-lived as she learned of the pomegranate seeds. Persephone would have to spend part of the year in the underworld with Hades, a compromise that would forever alter the dynamics of their relationship. Demeter's grief transformed into a bittersweet acceptance, and she understood that her daughter's dual existence mirrored the cycles of nature. As Persephone returned to the surface, the earth began to awaken from its slumber. The barren fields burst forth with life, flowers bloomed, and the warmth of spring enveloped the land. Demeter, filled with joy at the sight of her daughter, embraced her tightly, but the reality of their situation loomed over them. Persephone would have to return to Hades each year, and with her departure, the earth would once again fall into darkness. Thus, the seasonal cycle was born from the myth of Demeter and Persephone. When Persephone descended into the underworld, Demeter's grief would plunge the world into winter, a time of dormancy and reflection. The earth would lie still, awaiting the return of spring. When Persephone emerged from the depths, Demeter's joy would bring forth the vibrant colors of spring and summer, a celebration of life and renewal. This cycle of loss and reunion became a powerful symbol of the natural world, illustrating the delicate balance between life and death, growth and decay. The myth of Demeter and Persephone serves as a poignant reminder of the complexities of love and the inevitability of change. It reflects the struggles of motherhood, the pain of separation, and the resilience of the human spirit. Demeter's unwavering love for her daughter and her determination to bring her back from the depths of despair resonate with anyone who has experienced loss. The story also highlights the interconnectedness of all living things, emphasizing that life is a cycle of seasons, each with its own beauty and challenges. As the years passed, the people of the earth came to understand the significance of the changing seasons. They celebrated the return of Persephone with festivals and rituals, honoring the bond between mother and daughter. They recognized that the cycles of nature were a reflection of their own lives, filled with moments of joy and sorrow, growth and decay. The myth of Demeter and Persephone became a cornerstone of their understanding of the world, a timeless tale that echoed through the ages. In conclusion, the myth of Demeter and Persephone is a powerful narrative that explores the themes of love, loss, and the cyclical nature of life. Demeter's devotion to her daughter and the profound grief she experienced after Persephone's abduction serve as a testament to the strength of maternal love. The seasonal cycle resulting from their story illustrates the interconnectedness of all living things and the inevitability of change, As the earth transitions through the seasons, it reminds us that life is a journey filled with both beauty and heartache, and that love endures even in the face of separation. In the annals of Greek mythology, few tales are as cautionary as that of King Midas, a ruler whose insatiable greed led to his ultimate downfall. King Midas was a wealthy monarch of Phrygia, a kingdom known for its prosperity and abundance. His love for gold was legendary, and he was often depicted as a man whose heart was consumed by the lust for wealth. Midas reveled in his riches, surrounding himself with treasures and opulence, believing that gold was the key to happiness and power. However, his obsession would soon lead him down a path of folly that would change his life forever. One fateful day, Midas encountered the satyr Silenus, a companion of the wine god Dionysus. Silenus had wandered away from his master and found himself in Midas's garden, where the king welcomed him with open arms, offering food and drink. Grateful for the king's hospitality, Dionysus decided to reward Midas for his kindness. The god offered Midas a single wish, a chance to have anything his heart desired. Without a moment's hesitation, Midas declared, "I wish that everything I touch turns to gold." At first, Midas was overjoyed by the prospect of his newfound power. He envisioned a kingdom overflowing with gold, a life of luxury beyond his wildest dreams. The very thought of transforming ordinary objects into precious metal filled him with excitement. However, he was blissfully unaware of the consequences that would soon follow. As he left the presence of Dionysus, Midas eagerly began to test his wish, touching everything in sight. To his delight, the moment his fingers brushed against an object, it transformed into gleaming gold. Flowers, furniture, and even the stones beneath his feet turned to shimmering metal at his command. But as the initial thrill of his power began to fade, Midas quickly realized the grave mistake he had made. His joy turned to horror when he attempted to eat a meal, only to find that the food turned to gold the moment it touched his lips. The bread, once warm and inviting, became a solid mass of metal, and the fruits he craved transformed into inedible gold. Midas was left starving, unable to consume anything without it becoming a lifeless, glittering object. The very gift he had wished for had become a curse, and he began to understand the folly of his greed. Desperate and distraught, Midas sought solace in the company of his daughter, whom he loved dearly. However, when he reached out to embrace her, she too turned to gold, her once lively form now a cold, metallic statue. The sight of his beloved daughter, transformed into a lifeless figure, shattered Midas's heart. He fell to his knees, overwhelmed by grief and regret, realizing that his insatiable desire for wealth had cost him the most precious thing in his life. The gold he had once coveted now represented his greatest loss, a stark reminder of the dangers of greed. In his despair, Midas sought out Dionysus, pleading for the god to reverse the wish that had brought him such misery. "Please, great Dionysus, take away this curse. I cannot bear the weight of my greed any longer. I would give anything to have my daughter back, and to eat and drink like a normal man again," he cried, tears streaming down his face. Midas's heartfelt plea resonated with Dionysus, who understood the depth of the king's regret. The god agreed to help him, instructing Midas to wash in the waters of the Pactolus River, where the golden touch would be washed away. With hope rekindled, Midas hurried to the river, immersing himself in its waters. As he emerged, he felt the weight of his greed lift, and he realized that the curse had been broken. The golden touch was gone, and he was free from the burden of his foolish wish. However, the lesson he learned was indelible. Midas returned to his kingdom, forever changed by the experience. He understood that true wealth was not measured in gold or material possessions, but in love, relationships, and the simple joys of life. The story of King Midas serves as a timeless parable about the dangers of greed and the consequences of unchecked desire. It highlights the folly of prioritizing wealth over the things that truly matter, such as family, friendship, and happiness. Midas's transformation from a greedy king to a humbled man serves as a reminder that the pursuit of material wealth can lead to devastating consequences. The golden touch that once seemed like a blessing became a curse, illustrating the idea that sometimes what we desire most can lead to our downfall. In the years that followed, Midas became a wiser ruler, one who valued the well-being of his people over the accumulation of riches. He learned to appreciate the beauty of nature, the laughter of children, and the warmth of human connection. The once greedy king found fulfillment in the simple pleasures of life, understanding that true happiness cannot be bought or measured in gold. The tale of King Midas has endured through the ages, serving as a cautionary tale for generations. It reminds us that while the allure of wealth may be tempting, it is essential to recognize the value of what truly matters. The story encourages us to reflect on our own desires and the potential consequences of our actions. In a world where materialism often reigns supreme, the lessons learned from Midas's folly remain relevant, urging us to seek balance and prioritize the things that bring genuine joy and fulfillment. In conclusion, the myth of King Midas is a powerful narrative that explores the themes of greed, desire, and the consequences of our choices. Midas's obsession with gold led him down a path of destruction, ultimately costing him the love of his daughter and the ability to enjoy life's simple pleasures. Through his journey, he learned that true wealth lies not in material possessions, but in the relationships we cultivate and the love we share. The story serves as a timeless reminder of the dangers of greed and the importance of valuing what truly matters in life. The Trojan War, one of the most significant events in Greek mythology, is a tale woven with themes of love, betrayal, and the consequences of pride. The story begins with a series of events that set the stage for the legendary conflict between the Greeks and the city of Troy. Central to this narrative are key characters whose actions and decisions would ultimately lead to the war that would shape the fate of many. At the heart of the story is Helen, the daughter of Zeus and Leda, renowned for her unparalleled beauty. Helen was married to Menelaus, the king of Sparta, a powerful and influential ruler. However, her beauty caught the eye of Paris, a prince of Troy, who was known for his charm and charisma. The seeds of conflict were sown when Paris was chosen to judge a beauty contest among the goddesses Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite. This contest, known as the Judgment of Paris, was instigated by Eros, the goddess of discord, who was not invited to a wedding and sought to create chaos among the gods. Each goddess offered Paris a tempting bribe in exchange for being declared the fairest. Hera promised him power and wealth, Athena offered him wisdom and military prowess, while Aphrodite, the goddess of love, promised him the love of the most beautiful mortal woman, Helen. Paris, swayed by the allure of love, chose Aphrodite as the winner, setting off a chain of events that would lead to his fateful decision to abduct Helen from Sparta. With the support of Aphrodite, Paris travelled to Sparta, where he was welcomed as a guest by Menelaus. However, during his stay, he seized the opportunity to elope with Helen, taking her back to Troy. This act of betrayal ignited Menelaus's fury, and he vowed to retrieve his wife and restore his honour. He called upon his brother Agamemnon, the king of Mycenae, to help him rally the Greek forces against Troy. Agamemnon, a powerful leader in his own right, agreed to assist Menelaus, and together they sent out a call to arms to all the Greek kings and warriors. The call to arms was met with a swift response, as many of the greatest heroes of Greek mythology answered the summons. Among them were Achilles, the mightiest warrior, Odysseus, known for his cunning and intelligence, and Ajax, a formidable fighter. Each hero brought their own strengths and motivations to the conflict, united by a common goal: to retrieve Helen and bring her back to Sparta. The alliances formed during this time were crucial, as they brought together various city-states and warriors who would fight side by side against the Trojans. As the Greek forces assembled, they prepared for the long and arduous journey to Troy. The war was not merely a battle for Helen. It represented a clash of egos, honour, and the will of the gods. The Greeks believed that their honour was at stake, and the desire for revenge against the Trojans fueled their determination. The war would become a legendary conflict, marked by epic battles, heroic deeds, and the intervention of the gods, who took sides and influenced the outcome of events. The significance of the Trojan War in Greek mythology cannot be overstated. It served as a backdrop for many of the great stories and characters that would come to define the mythological landscape. The war was not just a tale of human conflict. It was a reflection of the complexities of love, loyalty, and the consequences of pride. The events leading to the war highlighted the fragility of relationships and the devastating impact of betrayal, as well as the idea that the gods often played a role in the affairs of mortals. Moreover, the Trojan War became a symbol of the struggle between fate and free will. The heroes who fought in the war were often faced with difficult choices, and their decisions would lead to both glory and tragedy. The war's outcome was not predetermined. It was shaped by the actions of individuals and the whims of the gods. This interplay between divine intervention and human agency added depth to the narrative, making it a rich source of exploration for themes of destiny and morality. As the Greek forces set sail for Troy, they were filled with a mix of hope and trepidation. The journey ahead would be fraught with challenges, and the war would last for 10 long years, filled with both triumphs and losses. The events leading to the Trojan War laid the groundwork for a conflict that would resonate through the ages, inspiring countless works of literature, art, and philosophy. In conclusion, the Trojan War was a pivotal event in Greek mythology, rooted in the actions of key characters such as Paris, Helen, Menelaus, and Agamemnon. The alliances formed and the call to arms against Troy were driven by themes of love, honor, and revenge. The significance of the war extended beyond the battlefield, serving as a reflection of the complexities of human relationships and the influence of the divine. The story of the Trojan War continues to captivate audiences, reminding us of the timeless lessons about the consequences of desire, pride, and the enduring nature of love and loyalty. In this captivating video, we delved into the enchanting world of Greek mythology, exploring the rich tapestry of stories that have captivated audiences for centuries. Greek mythology is not just a collection of tales, it is a profound reflection of human nature, filled with lessons that resonate even today. From the mighty gods of Olympus to the heroic deeds of mortals, each myth offers a unique insight into the complexities of life, love, and the human experience. One of the key points discussed was the significance of the gods and goddesses in Greek mythology. Figures like Zeus, Hera, Athena, and Poseidon embody various aspects of life and nature, representing the forces that shape our world. Their stories are filled with drama, conflict, and moral lessons that teach us about the consequences of our actions. For instance, the tale of King Midas serves as a cautionary reminder of the dangers of greed, while the story of Demeter and Persephone highlights the themes of love, loss, and the cyclical nature of life. Each myth serves as a mirror reflecting our own struggles and triumphs, encouraging us to learn from the past. Additionally, we explored the heroic journeys of characters like Odysseus and Achilles, whose adventures are not only thrilling, but also rich with meaning. Odysseus's long journey home in the Odyssey teaches us about perseverance, loyalty, and the importance of home, while Achilles' story in the Iliad delves into themes of honor, pride, and the tragic consequences of war. These narratives remind us that heroism is not just about physical strength, but also about the moral choices we make and the relationships we forge along the way. The video also emphasized the enchanting nature of Greek mythology, inviting viewers to immerse themselves in these timeless tales. The myths are filled with fantastical creatures, epic battles, and divine interventions, creating a world that is both magical and relatable. From the cunning of Hermes to the wisdom of Athena, the characters in these stories come alive, drawing us into their struggles and triumphs. Rich imagery and symbolism found in these myths continue to inspire artists, writers, and thinkers across generations, making them a vital part of our cultural heritage. As we concluded the video, we encouraged viewers to explore more myths and legends beyond what was discussed. Greek mythology is just the tip of the iceberg. There are countless stories from various cultures around the world that offer their own unique insights and lessons. By delving into these narratives, we can gain a deeper understanding of humanity and the universal themes that connect us all. Whether it's the Norse myths, the tales of ancient Egypt, or the folklore of indigenous cultures, Each story adds to the rich tapestry of human experience. Finally, we invited viewers to engage with our content by subscribing to the channel, liking the video, and sharing it with friends and family. Your support helps us continue to create more engaging and informative content about mythology and history. By subscribing, you'll stay updated on our latest videos, which will delve deeper into the fascinating world of myths, legends, and the lessons they impart. We appreciate your interest and enthusiasm for exploring these timeless stories, and we look forward to sharing more captivating content with you in the future. In summary, this video served as a celebration of the enchanting stories and profound lessons found in Greek mythology. We explored the significance of the gods and heroes, the moral teachings embedded in their tales, and the timeless nature of these narratives. We encourage you to continue your exploration of myths and legends, as they offer valuable insights into the human experience. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the video to join us on this journey through the captivating world of mythology. Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you in our next adventure.